Hello everybody, I'm Oscar W. Fitchett.
I'm going to say Bradshaw.
And welcome to our continuation of the Christopher Nolan review series. We've got one, it's this one, then another one, and then Dunkirk. Yes, we missed Dark Knight. Calm down. No one's complained. Get no comments on these. Anyway, we're doing The Dark Knight Rises, which came out in 2012. It's the final chapter in the Dark Knight trilogy. And the plot to The Dark Knight Rises, according to the Internet Movie Database, is 8 years after the Joker's reign of anarchy, the Dark Knight, with the help of the enigmatic Selina, is forced from his imposed exile to save Gotham City, now on the edge of total annihilation, from the brutal guerrilla terrorist Bane. I remember loving this film, and so much so, I remember loving the film when I first saw it. It's like one of the best cinema experiences ever for me. I still stand by that.
Yeah.
And then I watched it again second time with you because we wanted to. Because we were in holiday and we were like, we need a cinema. What do you fancy watching? Well, Dark Knight Rises is the only film that we wanted to watch, so we went and watched that. And then the third time I watched it was in IMAX, which was a very good experience as well. It was the only film. It was one of the only films at that point I'd seen 3 times in the cinema.
You would think it's your favourite film of all time, not you've seen it.
Well, I've seen other... fun fact, this is the first time I've seen this film in about 5 years. Last time I did see this film was in IMAX.
It's a film I like to repeat to watch again. I don't find that with The Dark Knight for some reason. I don't fancy putting The Dark Knight on. It's just The Dark Knight Rises.
We're the other way around in that sense,
possibly, yeah. I don't know why I enjoy it more. I just do.
Oh, you know, for me, I've liked it less now.
Oh, really?
I think I prefer Batman Begins over this now. For ages, I've always preferred The Dark Knight. Always have preferred The Dark Knight. Always have. But for a while, I was like, well, Dark Knight Rises is my second favourite, and then Batman Begins is like, not a bad film, but it's like, well, it's my least favourite of the trilogy. And now since we've watched these films, like more recently, and all of them are a bit more fresh in my mind, I prefer Batman Begins over The Dark Knight Rises, oddly enough. And I think a lot of my love for The Dark Knight Rises initially came from the fact that I saw it only in the cinema, and kind of almost back to back, and I was on this Batman craze and this Dark Knight Rises craze, and I was just in such a fanboy just mess and stuff like that. And when I see it in and again, I just still do stand by this. The opening, the first time I saw this film is one of the best cinema experiences ever for me. It's that and Force Awakens. There's a scene in the film which is a spoiler, which is what I'm not gonna say right now. People have probably seen it, but I'm gonna be courteous. There's a certain scene in the film where when I first watched it, I was like, oh my god! I literally did that. I had my hand over my mouth for a minute, probably, when that scene happened in the actual cinema, when I first saw it. And so my memory is just kind of been, of this film for a while, has been linked to those moments of seeing the film in the cinema, first time, the second time, and in IMAX. There's not a bad directed Chris Nolan film, so I'm just going to say that right now. Like, every film he's directed has been well directed. It's safe to say that. No one can say, that film was good, but it wasn't directed very well. It's like, no, it's a fact. And of course, the Hans Zimmer score, it's a lot the same, however, to be fair, the Batman Begins score happened and then, like, they kind of they didn't reuse, they kind of got the Batman Begins score and then did something else with it in The Dark Knight. And then they kind of got the Dark Knight score and they did something else with it in Dark Knight Rises. And there's something different in the Dark Knight Rises is the Deshi Basara theme, the Bane theme, the Deshi. Is it Deshi Basara, Deshi Basara. Like that, it's great. That's an amazing track. It's a very good, like, war theme in a way. Like, Batman Begins is almost like a horror film. Dark Knight is like a crime film. Dark Knight Rises is a war film.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah,
especially with all the military elements in it.
But even in the sense of, like, it's a film about terrorism.
Well, yeah, essentially,
Rises.
it is.
It's
sheer, like, yeah.
If you take the superhero elements out, if you take Batman, you take Bane, if you take those characters out of it, Bane's a terrorist doing something in the name of what he believes is right, which is very incredibly relevant in today's world right now. Yeah. It's a very relevant film in that sense, which the fact it's 5 years old and it's still being relevant is praise to it for that sense.
Yeah, I enjoyed the soundtrack. I think it's especially towards the end of the film and it goes on melody. Yeah. That's the best soundtrack, like best track I've probably heard in a film ever. I know I've listened to many tracks.
It works very well with it. Yeah,
definitely. That's what made me cry.
Yeah, there's a moment in there.
Yeah, that's what made me cry, because of the music and the pictures on the screen. Cinematography is very nice as well. There's more IMAX shots in this one.
It is.
The Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Because obviously IMAX was probably very scarce back when
it was very.
But now, since like technology moved on.
In 2012, IMAX was all the craze. In 2012,
yeah. You know, the times moved on and IMAX cameras become more common.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's one thing I do have to credit with Dark Knight Rises. It just felt big. Like the stakes just felt much more large.
Yeah, especially the stadium.
Oh yeah, the football stadium. Like it just felt like wow.
Yeah.
Like it was the first time Gotham felt huge in anything really.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Dark Knight Rises, it felt just a lot more grand.
The prison scenes as well. Where
Blackgate.
Yeah. No, the other place. Bane's place, whatever it was. We have to climb up
the pit.
Yeah, the pit.
The Lazarus Pit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a totally different place.
Which a lot of people. I want to say it's because I think we have to like address some things here because a lot of people who dislike The Dark Knight Rises, and I don't dislike it. I'm still wearing a shirt for goodness sake, but I don't dislike it. I just like it a little bit less than I remembered. But I don't dislike it because. A lot of people's main complaint is about when Bruce Wayne's in this Lazarus pit, in this pit, and everyone's like, "Wouldn't that guy be dead? How is he still alive? How is this?" And people are saying like, "Well, Bruce Wayne would have died ages before this," and like, "Oh, if he fell, why isn't his ribs and back just shattered?" I tell you, because if you know your Batman, I'm not being funny, you know the Lazarus Pit, which is like something associated with Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, how they pronounce it in these films, it's somewhat linked with him in the sense of like, in there no one can die. Like that's why. Okay, I'm going to say now, we're going to probably get into spoilers right now because it's just going to slip in, it's just going to slip out of just conversation right now, I can't help it. But like, that's why Bane managed to survive down there with no one, aside from a doctor, when he got his face busted up, he managed to survive down there because no one can die in the Lazarus Pit. That's how Ra's al Ghul managed to survive for so long, because of the Lazarus Pit. And that's just general Batman lore. And people may be like, well, what if I don't know Batman comics stuff? What if I don't know that? What if it's like, they should explain it to me? Well, that's where it's like, well then, because people, myself included, everyone complains about like, people just say exposition. They just say stuff. They don't let you just look at things and research it yourself. A lot of people go like, this is this and this is why and blah 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 blah, which does happen earlier on as well with the clean slate, where it's like where Celine Carr's like, where is it? It's like, you mean the clean slate, the thing that erases every criminal record of it? It's like, why are you giving exposition to that? But it's like, people like, it's like, that's how, because people say like, well, how would Bruce Wayne's back have healed and stuff like that? Because it's the flipping Lazarus Pit.
Especially when it's took place months as well. Just
research it. Just literally, it's out there. And Christopher Nolan's doing something smart in the sense of being like, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to dumb you down and be like, this is the Lazarus pit, and this is why it's relevant. And he's showing you what it is, and then he's allowing the audience to just see it for themselves, as opposed to like some random monk be like, "You're in the Lazarus pit. You can't die here." It's like we get moments like that throughout the film, and that's the one thing I do like about like. And that's the one element in this film where no one just sits you down and dumbs you down with, "This is what you should know about." It's like, it is what it is.
And Caine just gets too many quotes out. It really does. Like, everything he says is a quote. It's like, why does it do? Why? I know he's like supposed to be something.
To be fair, a lot of this film is a lot of people saying a lot of quotes.
Yeah.
In this, like. Yeah. There was stuff said in Batman Begins, like maybe one thing where it's like, "Why do we fall, Bruce? To learn to pick ourselves back up again."
Yeah.
And there's stuff in The Dark Knight, like where Harvey Dent goes like, "You live long enough, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain." And then, of course, the Joker says a lot of stuff, but that's because the Joker just has generally just a lot more quotable things. But in this film, I felt like everyone just had a quote to say.
Yeah, they did.
Like literally everyone.
One man's tool is another man's weapon.
Bane had just so many up the wazoo with this one, where Michael Caine was like...
I was born in it.
Yeah, he had like a thing of like, "You merely adopted the dog," and then he had the thing where he was like, "Why didn't you just kill me? Your punishment must be more severe." And then it's like, "Then, when Gotham is ashes, then you have my permission to die." It's like, it's just so many quotes, it's just so much of it. And then, some of it's cool, like when Bane's giving his speech about how much of like a corrupt man Harvey Dent was, and also like that. And then I was like, "You'll be worshipping a corrupt government." It's like, okay, this is cool, because he's giving a speech. And, but it's like, I just have to laugh at some bits where he's just talking. He's just chatting. He's not giving like a speech to the masses. He's just talking to someone, and he's like, "One might wonder why you would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane." It's like, he just got quotes. Just like he just says just so many quotable things, and I'm not sure if that's good or bad. I kind of laugh at some of them, not because they're funny, but it's like, we've got another one coming up here.
Yeah, so
like, here we go. And Michael Caine, he's not in it as much as like he has been in the other films. Like he misses the second act, and he misses most of the third act, I believe. And it's just, I always do get a bit emotional when he's like, "I failed you, Master Wayne." Like that's like,
got me that one.
Yeah. Every time, and then you got the Bruce Wayne grave right next to Thomas and Martha. It's like, oh. And then you got like Alfred looking at the gravestone, just going, oh. It's like, oh no, Alfred, wasn't your fault. A lot of people's complaint is like, there wasn't enough Batman in this film. Come on, you're watching a Batman film for the completely wrong reasons if you just want Batman to fight dudes. Like, seriously.
Yeah, it's all about story.
Like, it's about conflict. It's about, like... One of the main things, it's like... One of the main, like, elements in this trilogy specifically is, like, the mask doesn't make the man. It's Bruce Wayne who's pretty important, and Batman's just a symbol. Anne Hathaway, there were a lot of doubts when she was announced when she was announced as Catwoman. I remember everyone was like, "What? Anne Hathaway? No!" And I think she's pretty good in this film. I think she gives a really solid performance. She gives a really good Catwoman performance, if we're going to go by off how faithful she is to the character herself. I think she does a pretty good job in terms of how faithful she is towards the character and how they portrayed her. What are your opinions on Anne Hathaway in this film?
She was good. She actually, like, she was a criminal, but she sort of felt sorry for everybody.
Which is what Catwoman is. She's kind of like an anti-hero in a way. Like, she's a criminal, but she's not. And then we got Bane. Your opinions on Tom Hardy as Bane?
It's a very good Bane, actually. Like, obviously that's one of the first cinematic Banes there is, isn't it?
It's not the first one, but it's the second one. The first one was in Batman Robin.
Oh, well.
But no, I don't know, it's like, overall, I think it's weird because the acting isn't necessarily amazing. I think the best performance is see what I just did there? Anne Hathaway as Selena Kyle. The fact I just said Selena Kyle says how good she was in my eyes, at least. I think the best live action Catwoman by far, I think. Anne Hathaway was really good. Michael Caine and Tom Hardy were pretty good. Were like actually pretty darn good. Everyone else I felt was just, they were good. I felt. My main problem with this film, watching it back, is actually the script. The screenplay, and not necessarily the story. The story is fine, I think. I think it's an excellent, like, the story is a pretty excellent way to end it all off. But, like, I don't know, like, some of the dialogue I felt at times, it kind of got a bit too exposition-y. Like, there was like, a lot of it was just a lot of people just saying stuff. Like, a lot of it is just, like, very exposition-y, which is kind of disappointing for a Christopher Nolan film, because a lot of his films are showing and not telling, i.e. The Prestige and Inception. And even Batman Begins shows a lot but doesn't tell you a lot. Like, all of his films does really. I feel like this is kind of the less intelligent of it, all of his films, in all honesty.
It wasn't him who just done the screenplay, was it?
It was Jonathan Nolan, I know that, but Jonathan Nolan's also done other scripts with him as well.
Yeah.
And none of those have felt very like that. I don't know, what are your opinions on the script?
Yeah, I would probably say the same, yeah.
Yeah. I find it that everyone talks too much in this film, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but I also feel there's a lot of just one-liners in this film.
Yeah.
Well, compared to, like, when I was first watching it, I was like, there's a lot more humour in this film, but as it went on, I felt like, oh, there's just a lot of one-liners, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the thing, not even necessarily one-liners, but it's like when Batman and Catwoman are having the fight, like their first time they're fighting, and like and in the middle of this fight, because Batman like kind of throws, like, stops Catwoman from shooting. In this middle of the fight, they kind of turn to each other, and Batman goes like, "No guns, no killing," and she goes, "Where's the fun in that?" And then they continue fighting. It's like, did you really have time to just have a conversation right there and then about this? I remember at the time, again, 70-year-old me saw this scene, and I was like, oh my god, that's, Batman, woo! But now, like, looking back at, like, there's a moment where it's like, where Bane comes like, "So you've come back to die with your city?" And he goes like, "No, I came back to stop you." And then they fight. It's like, really? That's what you had? That is what you had right there? And it's a nice finish to a really great trilogy, I think. Not one film in this trilogy is bad. Dark Knight Rises, in my opinion, is the weaker one. That's my opinion. For you, it's your favourite, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's his favourite. For a lot of people, it's probably their second. It's in the middle. It's really all down to anyone. However, it's like we all could. Anyone who says Dark Knight Rises is a bad film, you're wrong. I'm sorry. People who say like it's a bad film in terms like it's not well made, you're wrong. If you think it's just not, if you don't like it, that's your opinion. Two different things. But my overall thoughts on Dark Knight Rises, now rewatching it, I've enjoyed it less, but I still like it. It would be a good binge to watch, like Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. It's acceptable. So that's our review for the Dark Knight Rises. The next one we're going to be reviewing is Interstellar. We already did do a review for Interstellar when it came out. Go and watch that if you want to watch our very first opinions on Interstellar. But yeah, Gary, what's in the description?
In the description you find all of the links to Heel Pictures, including our personal Twitters, Instagrams, Letterboxd.
Also, I do want to plug, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, which I don't usually promote this, but if you look at the YouTube channel, you'll find many Heelcasts, which are podcasts. We're doing those quite regularly now, where me and Sophie, and sometimes Gary as well, talk about a whole lot of stuff.
Everything.
Like all sorts of stuff. If you're a wrestling fan, if you're a video game fan, if you're a film fan, check those podcasts out because we talk about all sorts. And anyway, guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you for our Interstellar review. And goodbye.
Good night.
Too sour on me, Gary.
I wish you don't do that on me. That just makes my mind go funny. I'm like, but I'm doing it now.
Gary, do a funny noise and a funny face to the camera.